Here we have a 2013 Ford Transit Custom. It's got roughly 153,000 miles on the clock and is fitted with the 2.2 diesel engine. So today we're going to be doing a service on this Transit, and as part of the service I'll be doing an oil and filter change. Oil and filter. And as with any vehicle I do oil and filter on, always like to pull out the dipstick and find the oil filler cap, which is right down here, a bit tricky to get to, and just loosen them off or take them out. Let's leave that laying there for now. Really just so while the oil's draining underneath, it allows air back into the engine so it doesn't glug and splash around too much. Right, now we're underneath. Unfortunately I can't take the Transit all the way up because there's not much headroom in here. Here's a sump plug, which is a 13mm spanner size or socket size. I generally use a single hex socket where I can. It just reduces the chances of slipping and rounding it off. Nothing wrong with using a spanner, but you know, reduces the risk of complications, I guess. Right, this is quite cold, so hopefully it won't come out too fast. Although I believe it holds around 6.5 litres, so there's going to be quite a bit. Obviously the hotter the engine, the faster that will come out. So make sure you're ready with your oil drainer or bucket or whatever you're using. Right, we'll let that do its thing for a little while. Right, so the oil's still dripping out of the sump plug there. I'm going to get the housing off here. This plastic housing is where the filter is. And that's a 27mm socket I've got there. And you've got to be ready to catch some oil because there will be some in there. Hence the gloves. These can get a bit messy. Hopefully it won't splash around everywhere. Try and get it so it's as loose as possible without falling off. That's where having the dipstick and the oil cap off help to allow the air back in and let that drain down. I'll probably leave that for a few minutes just to drain. You could take it off now, but it will just, you know, a whole load of oil will come out and go everywhere. I'll just let that trickle away for a little while. Right, that's been dripping for a while now. I'm sure I'm still going to get covered in it, but can't wait forever. Got the blue roll ready. Yeah. Be nice if it had a little drain plug on the bottom of this housing. There we go. Unfortunately, it only went on my glove. Oh, that's all right. I was going to say I'll put it in the vise and do this, but there's your old filter. It just pulls out. And it's got an O-ring seal around there. I'll grab the new filter and we'll change that seal. Might have a little clean up first though. Right, so I've got a little screwdriver just to get this O-ring seal out of the housing groove. That's it. New one there. That's in place. Then we'll take the oil filter. I don't think it matters which way up it goes, it's the same both ends. Clips in there. And then we just screw it back in. Most of these plastic housings, like this one, they do have a tightening torque on them, which is great if you've got a torque wrench to hand. I think this is only 25 Newton meters, so it's not very tight. Only needs nipping up like that because it is only plastic. You don't have to go too mad. And next we'll get the sump plug in. So something to check on these, you can see it's got a rubber O-ring sealed in there. 9 times out of 10 they're good to go again, but just make sure it hasn't been crushed or split. I mean, that looks fine. You can replace just the O-rings. Alternatively, you could get a whole new sump plug when you go to your factors for the other parts. Providing you've got your registration number with you, they'll be able to recommend what type of oil, the quantity, the filter. Like I say, this holds, I was told it holds 6.5 litres. You can generally pick up 5 litres for around the 50 to 60 pound mark, depending on what brand name you go for. And obviously you can buy litres singly as well if you've got an odd amount like this, 6.5. The filter you should be able to get for under £10. Again, depending on what brand you go for. There's plenty of good aftermarket brand names, big names about, so I don't, as a rule, I don't generally go for main agent parts. Never had a problem, so it's all good. A little bit of a leak there from, I think it's from the dipstick tube, which is up there. Again, that's got an O-ring seal in it, which sadly you can't get separate from the dipstick. And it's quite an expensive thing to replace the whole dipstick tube. Okay, so now that's filter housing's done up tight, the sump plug's done up tight. We'll drop it down and put some oil in. Okay, let's get this cap out of the way. It's a bit of a pain to get to, the oil filler on this. Hopefully this will be just long enough. Yeah, lovely. Make sure the dipstick is up, which it is. And that'll let some air out of the engine as you're pouring the oil in, and hopefully stop it glugging back up and splashing everywhere. So I just need to keep an eye on it down the bottom there and make sure it doesn't overfill and start coming out. So they recommend 6.5 litres. I'll put in just over 6, probably 6.1, 6.2, and then we'll run it up and let it stand for a while and dip it and see how that fares up on the dipstick. You can obviously cause a lot of damage from not having enough oil, but if you have too much oil, that can also cause damage to the engine. And I think it's better to slightly underfill it and then just top it up in dribs and drabs rather than just whacking the whole 6.5 litres in and finding actually that's a little bit too much, because then you've got to get back underneath the thing and drain a little bit out, which I'm sure we've all done at some point. I certainly have, but I'd just like to try and avoid that if possible. Alright, that's the first 4.5. I'll go and fill this up, put another couple of litres in here, and then we'll top it up a little bit and see how we go. The next batch of oil. Right, so that's about 6.1, 6.2 litres. I'll grab another bit of blue roll. Get this funnel out. I'll fill the cap back on and dipstick back in. These have got like a keyway on them, a bit more relevant for when you're checking the oil in a minute. It's got a bit of a lump sticks out there in the tube, you can see it bulges out. So you need to make sure that lines up, otherwise it won't go fully home and won't give you a true reading. Right, I'm going to fire it up now, just to let the oil circulate. So all I want to do is make sure the oil pressure light goes out and just let it tick over for a few seconds. Oil light's gone straight out, that's a good sign. All sounds normal. You don't need to rev it. It's actually not a good idea to rev an engine that's been drained of oil and refilled. It can take only a couple of seconds for it to circulate. Just letting it tick over is plenty enough. And that'll do. So now all we need to do is let it stand for 3 or 4 minutes, let the oil all drain down into the sump and check it on the dipstick and see where we're at. So this is sat now for 4 or 5 minutes maybe. Got the dipstick out, giving it a clean. You can see this like a checkered area. That line at the bottom there, that's your minimum mark. And up here is the maximum. Obviously we want to be as close to that maximum as possible really. So we've put 6.1, maybe 6.2 litres in so far. The book says 6.5. And I would say that's plenty, 6.1. So we'll leave it at that. Just goes to show it's worth not glugging the whole recommended amount in there, because you'll end up underneath having to drain a bit out. So the oil filler cap's on, dipstick's back in, oil filter's tight, sump plug's tight. All that's left to do now is, as I do with most of my jobs, give it a little road test, bring it back in, make sure there's no leaks. Thanks for watching. If you find our videos helpful, please hit like and subscribe to help us out. Nice one.